Today's topic is XRP, and I am going to be straight with you right now. May 2026 could be the single most important month for XRP this entire year. Why? Because this one month has 4 major catalysts lining up all at the same time, and if all of them move in the right direction, the people sitting on the sidelines are going to regret it. But if you came here expecting me to say XRP is going to $100, you are on the wrong channel. Here we talk numbers, facts, and reality. So buckle up, let's get into it. Alright, first let's get the current picture clear. Today, May 4th, 2026, XRP is trading around $1.4. This morning during early Asia trading, XRP broke above the $1.4 level, and it did so on strong volume. That matters because when price moves with volume, it signals real participation, not some low liquidity fake pump. Now here's the honest truth: XRP has been stuck in a tight range since February 2026, roughly between $1.3 and $1.45. That means for 3 months, price has basically gone nowhere. And right now there are two camps of people. The bearish camp says, there's nothing happening with XRP, 3 months and still nothing. The bullish camp says, this tight consolidation is exactly what happens before a big move. So what's the truth? I'm going to give you both sides, you judge for yourself. But first, note this important fact. XRP is currently 62% below its July 2025 peak of $3.65. Anyone who bought at the top is still sitting in significant loss. That is the reality, and we are not going to pretend otherwise. Now let's talk about the chart. I know a lot of people are intimidated by charts, but I'll keep this simple. On the daily chart, a classic cup and handle pattern has formed the neckline of the cup, meaning the breakout point sits at $1.5. So here's what that means in plain terms. If XRP closes a daily candle above $1.5, the measured target moves to $1.65 to $1.7. And if legislation passes and momentum picks up, that could stretch all the way to $1.8. On the weekly chart, there are also encouraging signs. Volume is compressing, and that is typically what happens right before a big expansion move. The MACD has printed 3 green weekly bars and is curling toward a bullish cross, and the RSI is slowly climbing higher. But here is a warning I am not going to ignore. If you look at on-chain data, XRP's NVT ratio, network value to transactions, hit 1076 on April 29th. That is the highest reading since October 2025. What does that mean? It means price has been rising faster than actual on-chain activity, and historically when that happens, a short-term correction tends to follow. So yes, the chart is hopeful for bulls, but do not go in blind. Here are the key levels to keep in your head. $1.4 is the current pivot price, needs to hold above it. $1.5 is the cup neckline and the major breakout level. $1.3 is strong support below, and a weekly close below $1.2 would be a clear bearish signal. This is the section you actually came for. May 2026 has 4 separate catalysts for XRP, and they are all happening in the same month. On May 7th, Graniteshers is launching 3x long and 3x short XRP ETFs. On Nasdaq, in simple terms, this is a new leveraged tool for retail traders. 3x long means if XRP goes up 10%, that ETF returns roughly 30%. It's a double-edged sword, but it brings more market liquidity and more interest. And look at the broader ETF picture. In April 2026, XRP ETFs recorded $81.63 million in inflows, the strongest month of the year. Cumulative inflows across 6 US-listed XRP ETF products have now crossed $1.29 billion. Goldman Sachs disclosed a $153.8 million position spread across 4 different spot XRP ETFs. That is not a small bet from a small player. This is the biggest catalyst and also the most uncertain one. The Clarity Act is a bill that would classify XRP as a digital commodity under federal law. That means the regulatory uncertainty that has kept big institutions on the sidelines goes away permanently. Here's the good news. The SEC already settled with Ripple, the case closed for roughly $50 million. XRP is already treated as a commodity for retail purposes right now, but the Clarity Act writes that into law, so no future SEC chair can reverse it. The Senate Banking Committee has to schedule a markup before May 21st, when the Senate goes on Memorial Day recess. Senator Cynthia Lummis confirmed at the Bitcoin 2026 conference that the markup will happen in May. Senator Tom Tillis said he will press Chairman Tim Scott to set a date when senators return. The earliest realistic date is the week of May 11th. If this bill passes, the market response could be dramatic. If it doesn't get scheduled before May 21st, XRP loses its biggest catalyst of the entire year. Now let's talk about what the whales are doing, because this tells a very different story. During April's price weakness, whales accumulated approximately 1.15 billion XRP. And since February 2025, around 7 billion XRP have been pulled off exchanges. That's roughly 16% of the sellable supply gone. When supply on exchanges drops and demand comes in, price pressure moves upward. Crypto analyst CW noted that recently XRP saw the largest net long position buying in 2 weeks while price was still moving sideways. Someone big is building a position quietly, and last but not least the actual use case. Ripple has the Convera partnership, a $190 billion processing deal. There is Deutsche Bank integration. And a full-stack banking launch live in Brazil. In Japan, Rakuten Wallet users can now convert Rakuten points into XRP and spend it at over 5 million merchants through Rakuten Pay. But I want to be honest with you here. A large number of these deals are settling in Relust, not directly in XRP, and approximately 82% of Relust currently sits on the Ethereum blockchain, not the XRP ledger. Until Relust migrates to its native chain, XRP's direct utility case is not fully proven yet. Now I am going to give you both sides honestly, because just hearing the bull case on YouTube never made anyone money. Bull case: the Clarity Act passes, institutions start flooding in. XRP breaks $1.5 the cup and handle target of $1.65 to $1.7 comes into play. ETF inflows continue growing with players like Goldman Sachs getting larger. Whale accumulation creates a supply squeeze. Even Standard Chartered's downgraded 2026 target is $2.8, more than double the current price. Changely forecasts an average XRP price of $2.06 for December 2026, with a high of $2.14. Cryptopolitan puts the high at $2.48 if the Clarity Act passes and ETF inflows continue. Bear case: the Clarity Act doesn't get scheduled in May, it gets shelved indefinitely. Ripple's monthly escrow releases 1 billion XRP every single month. That is constant supply pressure on price. The NVT ratio warning signals. The rally is not supported by real on-chain activity. Relust staying on Ethereum means XRP ledger's utility case remains weak. Bitwise's bear case for N2026 is $1.4, basically exactly where we are right now. If broader macro sentiment turns risk off, XRP could retest the $1.28 to $1.32 support zone. I'm including this section because people don't just want price predictions, they want direction. But first, let me be completely clear. I am not a financial advisor. What I share is analysis. Always do your own research. That said, here are some common sense points that anyone can apply. Point 1. Be honest about your time frame. The targets like $11 or $5 that analysts talk about are multi-year, multi-cycle setups. If you are expecting $11 by Christmas, no major institutional model supports that view. Be honest with yourself about the time frame you are actually committing to. Point to watch the $1.4 level. That is the most important level right now. If price holds above it, the bullish structure stays intact. If it breaks down, price likely returns to the range. Point 3. Follow Clarity Act news closely. The week of May 11th is critical. If a markup gets scheduled, the market will react. If it doesn't, expectations will have to reset. Point 4. Understand position sizing. Leveraged ETFs like the Granitescher's 3x products are only for people who fully understand the risk. A 33% move against your position can wipe your entire investment. Small positions and clear stop losses are not optional. Point 5. Protect yourself from scams. Ripple does not give away free XRP. There are no airdrops, no validator bonuses, no ETF holder rewards. Any DM, email, or pop-up offering free XRP is a scam, full stop. Only verify information through ripple.com and official verified social accounts. So let's wrap this up. XRP is currently trading around $1.4 after months of tight consolidation. The chart shows a cup and handle pattern with the breakout level at $1.5. May has 4 major catalysts: the Granitescher's ETF launch on May 7th, the Clarity Act deadline on May 21st, significant whale accumulation, and growing institutional interest. In the bull case, a range of $1.65 to $2.48 is possible depending on how those catalysts play out. In the bear case, XRP stays in the $1.28 to $1.4 range. Yes, XRP is still 62% below its all-time high, but $1.29 billion has already flowed into XRP ETFs. Goldman Sachs has taken a real position, and whales are quietly loading up. May 2026 is going to define what the rest of XRP's year looks like. If you found this video useful, like it, subscribe, and share it with anyone who follows crypto. Drop a comment and tell me, are you bullish or bearish on XRP right now? I read every single one.